Hey everybody, it's Carlos from Immortals Inc. podcast. Today I got Mike on the mic.
Mike on the mics.
And I have brought in a guy, an invasive player from Ron from Blood Bowl.
What up?
So we're going to talk about a little Blood Bowl. So anyway, I got Ron in here. Ron showed up one day. Well, tell us about yourself. Or what's... You don't have to tell us about yourself.
Local knave, father of two.
Oh, okay. So anyway, he showed up.
Enthusiast.
Yeah.
Simple.
He showed up one day and I wanted to play Blood Bowl. I go, yeah, sure, whatever. Take a table.
Yeah.
And now we have last week eight players, 8, 9, or last Sunday.
I think we have like 8 to 10.
Okay.
And I've got some people interested who've been on the Discord. Definitely check out the Immortals Inc. Discord. Great place to set things up. If you're interested in Blood Bowl, there's a Blood Bowl sort of subcategory of the Discord. I don't know exactly.
Yeah, it's in there.
Great place to get involved. We've got maybe 12 people interested for this new season that we're just going to start.
So why don't you give us a rundown of what Blood Bowl is for anybody who doesn't know?
So Blood Bowl is one of the games in Games Workshop's large portfolio. I think it originally came out in the very early 80s. I think the very first edition actually was just like little like paper cutouts. Like you cut them out and you folded them into little triangles. Didn't even have miniatures yet. So old game, long-standing game.
It's probably in a magazine or something, one of their publications.
I think they supported it in White Dwarf afterwards, but it was an actual box initially.
Yeah.
And it just sort of kicked around for a long time, and it sort of lost the steam by GW. They just weren't supporting it anymore. Around like the late 90s, 2000s, they kind of like let it slide. But it had a big enough of a cult following, like amongst the fans, that they sort of like set up their own rule book. They called it like the living rule book. And then finally, GW took notice and put out another edition in 2020.
Yeah, it was a long time.
Yeah, it took a while.
I remember when it came out originally. I remember I have the old box at home. I'll take a picture and you can put it on here. But yeah, it's just they had it. It was like a one-shot game. They did a few armies, which they always do ridiculous armies.
Yeah. Because
the game is played in tongue in cheek too, so it's not like
funny.
It does not take itself seriously, and I think they just thought it was going to go nowhere. But like I remember, guys would always consistently play Blood Bowl. There was always Blood Bowl players or leagues somewhere, even though the game was like considered dead. They always had it, and I think GW finally said, "All right, if you guys won't stop."
I guess I neglected to mention at the very beginning, the conceit of Blood Bowl is that it was, what if the Warhammer fantasy world discovered football and everybody got so into it they stopped doing war with each other and just did football.
Yeah, that's what
so it's literally fantasy football.
Is it violent football?
Yes, very much so.
It is.
Are there casualties?
Yes, there's deaths as well.
It is like pure just nonsense fun and violence.
It's wacky. It's lots of fun, like anachronisms.
What brought your passion into Blood Bowl?
It was a game that I was always aware existed, but I'd never actually played it. They had they've put out a couple like video computer game versions of it. Mm-hmm. I don't think the current one is very good, but
I hear a lot.
It was
about
enough to get that actually I think sort of steered me towards I'm like, this game is okay, but like why don't I actually just put some paint to miniatures and start moving some guys around a table for real. Get the real experience.
Yeah.
It is funny. If you look at some of it, if you just Google Blood Bowl in the background, there's a huge backstory. There's like a whole background to it too. And it's funny because like he said, it's played like, it's almost like a rugby football mix. Mm-hmm. And, you have to just, it's hard to describe to play. You got to come down and play and see, but it's easy once it gets going. And it's just a lot of fun because even the commentators, like they have a whole background. Like the big two sportscasters are like isn't it like a vampire and an ogre?
Yep.
And they're just ridiculously dumb. Like
are those the only two commentators? Like
they have other ones, but they're funny. And
That's funny.
You would have orc teams and then human teams, but then you would have halfling teams, and they're all like based on like they have cooking pots on their heads, and it's just. What others are good? Like I just bought, like I was watching these guys play, and I haven't played since way back when, and I'm like, all right, it's cool. Then I'm watching these guys play, and I'm like, God dang it. So next I bought a vampire team. So now I'm painting this vampire team, and it's just funny, It's
They have some crazy stadiums that they made too.
Yeah,
Like, you
we
guys-
put it-
I can send you guys some pictures.
Yeah.
But, my buddy Josh and Craig's very specifically, they sort of wanted to make sure we had a big stadium set up for our finale final cup game that we just did last weekend.
Yeah, I did a little short. I think it's gonna pop off on Monday, so or Friday. Monday. It's
Yeah,
Monday.
that was
I'll
pretty
pop it
funny.
off on Monday. But
Yeah.
it's a good and yeah,
My gnomes got crushed, by the way.
yeah, it's gnomes.
0-3 did terrible.
Oh no! How
Although
does how does the scoring system work? Like
I mean, like
best of 3?
no, it could theoretically be 16-0. I think that's very unlikely, but theoretically it could be 16-0.
Okay.
And it's played in what round or turns or rounds or
There's-
halves.
there's
They do
two
it like a
halves
football
of
game.
eight terms for each side.
So you have 16 turns.
Yep.
8 each, and then it plays like a football game. You know,
2 teams of 11. But what's interesting about Blood Bowl is that if you make a mistake on your turn, like you do something bad, like you go to like knock a guy over and you roll the dice bad, or you try to like run extra far, you try to dodge around a guy and you fail, it's an instant turnover. Your turn instantly ends and it's your other guy's play now. And it's one of the things that makes the game intense.
and like passing's always hard.
Yes,
To throw,
passing's
you could
very
pass,
hard.
but it's hard. Like even like thinking ogres and goblins, they throw each other. Or there's creatures
Yes,
you
you can
could
pick
throw the
up-
whole creature.
You can pick some of the players can pick up other characters and throw them while they're also holding the ball.
So it's just
And even some of them like will get hungry while they're carrying the guys, and they have a chance to potentially try to eat the player that they've picked
Oh
up.
my
it's
god, dude.
bad. So like the dugout or the sideline is like you'll have like the bench players, and you'll have injured players, and you'll have the dead players. So they and the way you play it is you buy a team, and you have so much gold, I think it is, and you spend and you buy. So but you have to save some in case your players go down.
Yeah.
And get in the league play. Like if you're just playing one offs, it doesn't matter, right? It's just just play a game, play a team.
I think league play is where Blood Bowl really shines because you get invested in individual characters, and guys earn skills and take injuries.
And they're like football. You have numbers on them and everything, and you give them names because there's not that many, so you could name them. And
Yeah, I saw their painted armies, and it was like or teams, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. Like they're very
they're not
well
that
done.
much. Like you buy a box, and there's what?
very affordable.
Yeah, it's 10. It's like what was it? 50, 40, 50, between 40 and 60 bucks for
Yeah.
a team, and then the star players, it's usually 20, 30 bucks.
And, typically you got to buy them like on GW's website, so like
Yeah.
people just proxy and whatever.
Yeah, and a lot. I don't think they get crazy about like if you. There's a lot of third party prints for teams too.
There are. It's a big, very big space for that.
I haven't heard any too much, but I'm not saying that they approve of it. But I think they kind of like. I think they let to build the spirit of the game.
Yeah, they probably
I
have
don't-
creative freedom for that. A lot
I wonder. I've never been to an
Boundaries.
official tournament. I've been to plenty of unofficial. I've been
I
to a couple
guarantee if it's
unofficial
a
tournaments.
special tournament, it's GW
They're
only.
gonna be hard asses,
Yeah, they got. I mean, it would be. Like I just.
So if you watch NFL or you're a football enthusiast, is it easier to learn the rules, obviously, or is the
Yeah.
learning curve fairly, easy?
Except for like a couple like niche situations, the rules are generally pretty straightforward. People have a skill between 1 through 6. You got your movement, your strength, your passing, your agility, your armor, and you roll a d6 and you try to roll at your number or higher.
Are you a
One is
passer
always-
or a runner?
Well, my gnomes were a little hybridy. They're not super fast. They could throw a little, but they were weak. They were like really weak guys. So it was really easy to just pile up on my guys and take them down. But I did lead the league in the most fouls.
Nice.
So yeah, in
Gritty.
the game you can foul and you can cheat too, right? You can cheat. I said I'm going to cheat. It's like
Some guys have secret weapons they're not technically allowed to have, like chainsaws and
Oh.
stuff. And then eventually, like once a drive ends, the ref will go, "Wait a minute, you're not allowed to have a chainsaw on the field."
But
you can have a role to argue with the ref and be like, "Oh, are you sure?" And
Vegas
the ref
told me it was
could.
okay.
You roll a 6, the ref is like, okay, you can stay on, you're good. Or if you roll a 1, he gets so mad he ejects the coach character out of the game.
Oh,
You can't
rigged.
argue
Rigged.
but you can also have bribes. Like
yeah.
when you make a team, you can set away money to bribe the ref, and you have a chance to bribe him every time he calls you out.
And they do have like ref miniatures, and they have cheerleaders. Like the ogre team. I have an ogre team, and we have a human team here. Diana, made Diana the Oakland Browns.
Yes.
The Oakland Browns is what we have because they're just terrible. And then, but I found the old cheerleader, the Orc cheerleader. She looks terrible.
Yeah, they're like holding bottles
just
and
looks
stuff.
gross. Yeah. And I'm like, I got to paint this thing. So they have cheerleaders and they have coaches and they have, and you guys made a bunch of aftermarket stuff. It was cool.
Some files we bought on the internet and printed them and painted them.
Yeah, and it's total tongue in cheek and it's just funny. And even to read the books, they write them as if it's a sports magazine.
Nice.
And the way they write it, and it's a lot of fun. But and I think Sunday, I think this is coming out next week, but Sunday the 23rd, you're going to start a league, right? Another league.
Well, it's going to be a continuation of
Okay.
Yeah, but it's we're closing off the old one. You can technically redraft your old team, but I don't think anybody's doing that. Everyone's a new team.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to be starting up fresh this Sunday, technically. Although I'm not going to be here, but I'll be here the next Sunday.
Yeah, but you can join in.
Exactly. You can join in pretty much at any time.
Yeah, so like if you're a week, like a week late, 2 weeks late, I mean, I think you just join in. You can even come down and play because we got a lot of new players. Like a couple new players came in and started playing Blood Bowl, and how long's the game last?
It can be a little swingy that way. If you've got like a real intense, like you got to really think about a game, that can take 3 hours. But sometimes, if you know what you're doing and the dice are rolling and it's going, sometimes you're done in an hour and a half.
Yeah,
Nice.
and so it's not, and like you're talking like if you want to buy the box set for 2 teams, it's like you and a buddy want to get started. That's what, 120. I don't know the price off the top of my head.
I forget the core box.
Yeah, it's like
not a bad deal though.
No, it's not. So you get 2 armies, you get all the rules, you get a
board
and all the little doodads that go with it. And but you can buy a team if you come down. They'll teach you how to play.
Oh yeah.
And you buy a team. The team box is like I said, $40 average, and you got a whole team, and you're ready to go. And then what about the rules? Don't they have they don't have them online?
Officially?
Yeah, no, they don't. No, GW, they don't. So then, but you can buy the rules compilation. You can buy the core rule book. You can buy the army book and do what you want. But I'm sure one of these guys has. We all have something.
The stats of all the players are available online.
Yeah,
it's not necessarily the rules.
Yeah, that's what I meant. The stats. Like once you get the stats on, like a lot of their other games, you can get all the stats online. It's just the rule books and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's casual. We don't do anything crazy here. No. It's every Sunday. You guys roll in about 4.
Yeah.
So you guys
sometimes we close out at 9. Not always.
Yeah, that's fine. Michael stay extra.
Yeah, I got you guys. Wink, wink.
So, but yeah, and it's it started with like a couple guys, like 3 or 4 guys, and then now we're up to 8 to 10. And if the league gets going, and the people like it. Every GW player I know knows Blood Bowl.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of the normies that want to play something. It's fun to play, and like I said, it's not a serious game at all. It's not like tonight's 40K night. The day we're filming this, it's 40K night here, and those guys are intense. So it's like that's a 4-hour game, 5-hour game, and it's not like that. So
no.
And you don't have to carry around a suitcase full of, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you can't. But you guys do. You had a whole stadium.
We did. That was a lot of that. Was a big ring over.
There's lights on. I'm like, whose
LEDs.
whose electricity is that? Whose electricity? Where'd you plug that in?
It was batteries. It was battery powered.
No electricity on our end. See, not even using your rent money.
I know,
there we
right?
go.
You got to rent. All right. Well, thanks for coming in, Ron. I'd like to do something. If we get it going, I'd like to do something regular if you're interested.
Heck yeah, man.
We're talking. Your one buddy came in, and who's the guy you were playing with? Ron?
Josh.
Josh. I was telling him, I go, these guys, when you talk to them, if you see the short we did, they're like little sports commentators.
That was great.
Today in Blood Bowl, it's like, but it'd be fun. But yeah. All right. Well, thanks for coming in, Ron. Hey, if you like what you saw, or like what you heard, give us a like, give us a subscribe. You can even support us more by joining.
Yep.
Or
join.
There's the much love button, or the little thing where you get money.
Yep. And then if you guys even want to purchase Blood Bowl, it's right below in the description. You could purchase from our online site.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye.